most terrifying cults to ever exist. Now let me think. Is the KKK a cult? Yeah, it's definitely a cult. It's definitely a cult. So it has to be up there, right? It has to be up there. I don't know. Heaven's Gate. Oh, isn't that the Uzi tried to make the cover of? Yo, Uzi is actually a demonic worshiper, bro. Man made a try to make a album cover out of a goddamn insane cult. All right, let's go.
And slowly work our way towards the most terrifying ones on the list.
Talk to
Number
me.
7,
Let's
the
go.
Russian doomsday cult.
These look like miserable creatures. These drawings get worse and worse. More putrefying by the second. And I like it.
The Russian doomsday cult would make international news in November of 2007.
And it's Russian. Russian and doomsday shouldn't be together, bro. Them Russians be wild.
When around 35 of their members barricaded themselves
Swifties and K-pop are on here, bro.
Inside of a small cave in Russia's Penza region. And when authorities went down to investigate and remove them from the cave, the cult members would respond by threatening to blow themselves up.
Actual hobgoblins. Do you see these creatures? I wouldn't be surprised if they look like this.
With some of the members even bringing their children inside of the cave, police were left with no option but to wait them out. But before I tell you how this all ends, let's first cover the origins
Let it be somebody that's brown skinned. They're gonna call them a terrorist.
of this mysterious group and how they got to that
So
point.
interesting.
The cave dwellers were originally part of the Russian Orthodox Church, but they would end up leaving the church when a self-proclaimed prophet named Pyotr Kuznetsov convinced them that the world would soon be coming to an end. Pyotr would refer to his new followers as the Chosen Ones, which made them feel special.
Hey, I don't know if I'm just stupid, but a name like the Chosen One, like, I kind of rock with that. Like, I'm the Chosen One? It's me? Really? Me? I probably would have got tricked by him. Are we the Chosen One? I would have got tricked by him.
Pyotr would ban his followers from eating processed foods, watching TV, or handling money.
Oh, hell no, never mind. I F with it.
They would also reject barcodes, national identification numbers, and passports, since Pyotr convinced them that they all contained the mark of the beast. But after some time had gone by, his followers began to ask questions.
Hey, Pyotr.
Yeah?
You know how you've been talking a whole lot about the end of the world and all?
Yeah?
Well, me and the others been wondering, well, when exactly
is that
is
stupid?
it?
Well,
You would be surprised. There's a reason why cults exist.
What you mean?
May 2008. Yeah, May 2008. Which was 6 months away. The group was then instructed to enter a small cave and patiently wait for the world to come to an end. The cult members entered the cave in November 2007, but conveniently enough, Pyotr would not be joining them. Instead, he had convinced his followers that since the world was ending, they would no longer need their personal possessions. With authorities speculating that he was busy selling off his followers' belongings, he was quickly arrested and taken into custody. If only he
What happened to them in the cave? They just starved?
could have predicted his arrest.
Somebody said W scammer. I mean, he is making a bag.
Okay, I'll see myself out. The cult members would oddly
I
enough
wonder if he got like a tax write-off. Like, y'all know if you open a church, you legit get a tax write-off? I'm open the Church of NFG.
still remain inside of the cave, and 5 months would go by with
totally
no
real
one
church.
entering or leaving. But on March 28th, 2008, 7 women finally had enough, exiting the cave and immediately seeking medical attention. A few days later, a portion of the cave would end up collapsing, leading
We only
more
believe in
members to
Tommy?
rage quit and exiting the cave. With some members still refusing to leave, the police would have the brilliant idea of bringing Pyotr down to the cave, where he would instruct his followers to exit.
I mean, you gotta respect, they standing on business though.
But
Hey,
they refused.
Hey, if NFG, if y'all aren't like this, man, if y'all aren't like this, then I don't even want it. I don't even want it.
And on May
It's
6th,
stupid though, but I mean, hey, they stand on business.
2008, the
refused-
last 9 members of the cult would finally emerge from the cave due to the toxic fumes produced by 2 of the members who had died over the winter. With authorities expecting their exit, they greeted them with a cow, since they refused to drink milk that contained a barcode.
Oh my god. No, this is different levels of messed up, man. This is... Yeah, that dude got something in their minds. I don't know what he got in their minds. I don't know what he did to tell him to do this, but they did it. Straight from the source. Isn't this how they say we should drink milk though? Like we shouldn't be drinking it, they call it pasteurized? Pasteurized. We shouldn't be drinking it pasteurized. We should be drinking it like this.
As for Pyotr,
Fuck no.
authorities would discover that the man actually slept inside of a coffin, further solidifying the fact that he was completely insane, where he would end up inside of a psych ward. Number 6, Aum Shinrikyo. Probably one of the most infamous
Oh, I think I know this. Hold
and
up.
dangerous cults to have ever existed. In 1987, this cult would make themselves known to the world when a few of their members orchestrated the deadliest domestic attack in Japan's
I
history.
do know this. Oh my god. Yeah, this is the subway attack in Japan. For y'all that don't know, he's gonna explain it. I know this. I heard of this.
Leaving 13 innocent people dead and over 6,000 injured. But before we get to that heinous attack, let's first cover how this cult began.
6,000 is a crazy amount of people to be like. That is a huge amount of people to be injured.
The year is
Huge amount.
1987. A man named Chizuo Matsumoto
public
began to
attack? That is
distribute
so
pamphlets, claiming to have reached a new level of enlightenment through meditation. The pamphlet advertised a yoga class where you can come and learn about his amazing discovery. But during these classes, he would spend his time preaching about the end of the world. And that should have probably been your cue to updog your way out the class.
Bro, there's no way we're learning about this. Was that the Bite of 87 purple guy? Why are y'all mentioning Five Nights at Freddy's references while we're listening to this tragic story? Come on.
What's that?
Nothing much, man. What's up with you?
I don't get it.
And over the course of a few years, he managed to garner dozens of loyal followers, naming the group Aum Shinrikyo, which roughly translates to the Supreme Truth. And in 1992,
I would fall to that name. That just sounds so cool. That sounds so cool. Like the Chosen One, the Supreme Truth. If they didn't pick these cool names, then people probably wouldn't have fell for them. Like imagine instead the cult was named the Losers or something like that. The piece of shit, no good, no life, and no friend losers. Nobody would join them. But then they have the coolest names ever.
Chizuo Matsumoto would
The
gain
Meat
even
Munchers?
more followers when he released a book titled Declaring Myself the Christ, which had a picture of him on the cross
Oh,
as
GG's, bro. Wrap it up. Hey, he's pulling a Lil Nas X. Pack him up.
the cover. At its peak, the cult would grow to over tens of thousands of members that spanned over multiple countries. His followers would even state
That's
that
the thing. How do you get tens of thousands of people from different countries? That's a crazy accomplishment to even do.
if people would just take a moment to listen to their
No
enlightened
way.
leader, they too would see the light. But without warning, on the morning of March
Thought it
20th,
was Jesus?
1995, tragedy would strike when a total of 5 chemical weapon attacks took place in the Tokyo subway system, killing 13 innocent people and injuring around 6,000 others. The attacks would quickly
in
backfire
peace.
as the authorities began to arrest everyone involved, including the cult leader. These attacks were meant to initiate the apocalypse, and once the world had collapsed, the cult would rise to rule the world in the way that they saw fit. But instead,
Imagine he got away with it and then people didn't know.
the attacks led the leader and 6 high-ranking members directly to death row, where they were held until their execution date, which came on July 6, 2018.
Why doesn't America do that? America needs to be doing that. Y'all see, they put him on public.
They were held until their
Look at that. They put him
execution
on
date,
public
which came on.
execution. They put him on. They put him on public execution like he's Gold D. Roger, man. America need to be doing that with like serial killers and school shooters, just so people know not to do that, not to mess with it. Japan don't be messing with that stuff at all.
July 6,
W
2018. Number 5, Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate
We just talked about this.
was an American religion movement that began to garner a following in Southern California
confirm.
during the mid-1970s. The group has been characterized as a UFO religion cult, whatever the hell that means. The followers of this cult believed that they could transform themselves into
If your religion involves UFOs, I'm probably not going to take it serious, respectfully.
immortal extraterrestrial beings
Lil
once they
Uzi Vert has
rejected
joined
their
the
human
chat.
nature, something that they would refer to as reaching the next level, which I guess they ultimately did. But more on that later.
And they do have cool names, reaching the next level. Like, they always have the coolest names for doing things. It's like
The
you're getting
group
an
was
upgrade in a
started by
video
Marshall
game.
Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles, who after
Ew.
confiding in each other would come to the conclusion that they were the two witnesses
sorry, shit's cool as
described in
fuck.
the book of Revelation, which would make them prophets. Fully convinced, they would attend church groups where they would present themselves as the two. And I can only assume how funny that must have been. He broke the bread and gave it to them, saying,
Bro, first off, if you're Christian, the first thing you learn is about false prophets. If anybody is preaching to be Jesus or a prophet, then they're immediately false. That's the first. I don't know how it is in other religions stuff. I think it's every religion. If you're preaching to be a god or something in the religion, like, you're immediately discounted from the religion. WTF is wrong with their eyes? Yeah, I don't know.
This is my
fuck that.
body. Excuse me? Yeah? Sorry to interrupt, but I just want to let you guys know that, well, we are the two. What does that mean? Like, the two. I'm not following.
That's
you know,
exactly what
like
we're warned
what
of.
two? The two from the book of Revelations? Right. Get a load of this guy. But somehow the two would begin to garner a
They on
following
acid?
when they began to hand out flyers advertising their seminars, like this one, claiming to be from the next level, leaving their higher being self to come down to earth to help others. And somehow they managed to recruit around 39 loyal followers. Now, one of
Big
the
ass forehead.
strangest and most terrifying thing about this cult was the fact that all male members were required to be castrated.
Yeah, I don't think I would join it at all. Never mind that. Like, I don't think even with the cool name, you reach the next level. I don't think I ever would have been tricked by that. What do they do with the castrated penis? That's the real question. What are they doing with it?
Which
Somebody said eat it.
we can all agree is a wild thing to just throw
Was
out.
he lost his shit?
The group would first try to do the procedure
Aw,
in-house,
don't show it.
almost killing one of their members.
I just felt it. I just felt it. I just felt it. I just felt it. Oh my god, I just felt it. Why? Why?
So all future castrations would take place at the local
Someone
hospital.
fucking shudder?
The group would be left in complete shock when one of the two founding leaders, Bonnie Nettles, would suddenly pass away. This would cause the entire cult's belief system to collapse, since they
Okay.
originally preached that all members were
Feels
to
numb now?
ascend alive inside of a UFO. So Applewhite made a few adjustments to their beliefs and would come to the conclusion that only the person's soul would be taken by the spaceship. 12 years would go by, and the members of Heaven's Gate grew tired of waiting. And on March 26,
PTSD.
1997, the San Diego County Sheriff's Department would discover a horrifying scene. Inside of a rented mansion laid 39 lifeless bodies, including the cult's leader, bringing
Thank God he wasn't running in social media, because y'all motherfuckers is dumb as fuck. Y'all are sped as fuck. Y'all would fall for this. Instead of being 39 people, it would have been 3,900 people. The way I see some people online, oh my god. Thank God this man was not running shit in the social media age. He would have caught like 100 times more the people.
Applewhite's revelations to
about a
fruition.
nuke?
And in his own words, the members of Heaven's Gate had finally
caused a mass murder?
graduated. Number 4, the Branch Davidians. This is one of the most insane cults to have ever existed. The Branch Davidians were an apocalyptic Christian cult founded in Texas in 1935 by a man named Victor Houteff. And in 1957, the cult would purchase 941 acres of land near Elk, Texas, where they would build a large community that would serve as their home and headquarters. But things wouldn't really start to heat up until
nigga's
1987,
teeth?
when a man named David Koresh would take
Ew! Okay, good enough. You gotta stop with these drawings, man. Because what the hell is this? What the hell is this? this creature off my screen.
over as the cult's leader. And he was, of course, you guessed it,
What the
a
hell?
self-proclaimed
Idiot.
prophet.
Oh my god.
According to David, he was appointed by God as a prophet with the task of bringing the day of judgment. But David's downfall would start when he began to illegally collect and stockpile dozens of guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition, since he was preparing for the upcoming apocalypse. And on February 28th, 1993, federal agents would arrive at the cult's doorsteps with a search and arrest warrant in hand. But
Oh, I can already imagine. Yeah, they had a shootout.
the Davidians' cult members had no intentions of allowing them inside or arresting their leader. And within moments, gunshots began to go off. In the gunfire, 4 federal agents and 6 Davidians would end up losing their lives. But
Damn.
this was just the beginning. The cult members would go on to
Damn,
bear
man, I thought you was a prophet. Like, go invisible or something. What you doing, man? You use some powers.
barricade themselves inside of their compound
man.
for 51 days. But eventually, the FBI was given the green light to enter, firing multiple tear gas canisters inside, and shortly after, the entire building would erupt in flames. And to this day, no one really knows who started the fire, but after
This
it was
ain't what
lit,
happened?
the standoff would end within the hour, with 76 Davidians and their leader perishing in the fire or by smoke
Oh
inhalation.
my god. 76? The fact that there's 76 people. Yikes.
And for the high-ranking cult members who managed to escape with
How
their
did they get 76 people to believe in this bullshit? I really be thinking that.
lives, they would end up inside of a cell. Number 3, Order of the Solar Temple.
What the hell?
This apocalyptic cult would make national headlines on October 4th, 1994, when 2 fires would break out in Switzerland, one at a farm and the other in a chalet. When the paramedics arrived at the scene, they would discover a total of 48 burned bodies across both locations. They had all been wearing white cloaks, but strangely enough, some of them
Wearing astronaut helmets?
also had a plastic bag over their
Never mind. Okay, so.
heads.
Y'all know what's funny? Okay, off track. I know this is pretty a morbid video, but like, I'm gonna go on a little tangent. When I was in elementary school, we had like a cotton candy assembly, and I put a plastic bag over my head, and I got in trouble for it because the teacher thought I was trying to suffocate myself. All right, that's it. Back to the video.
They were all laid out flat on the ground and in a circle. One of the sites was even surrounded by mirrors and the cult's symbols. On arrival, officers would also discover that the fires had been ignited with the remote control device. And since this was the early 1990s, they were clearly showing off. But these fires wouldn't be an isolated incident. In fact, this
Silly
was
Tommy.
just the beginning. 1 year later, on December 15th, 1995 in France, 16 burned bodies would be discovered, laying in the formation of a star. Then 2 years
Oh,
later,
hell
on March
nah.
22nd, 1997, 5 more members would be discovered in Canada. They were yet again set
Bro,
up
what are they doing? Why they make? They trying to send a message?
ablaze by remote
At a certain point, if you're joining this cult, I'm really trying to think. You see all the other burned bodies. You're gonna sit there like, oh man, this looks like a swell time. This looks like a swell time to join. It looks like an amazing, great group of people. WTF is happening here? I'm pretty sure the animals ate them. What?
controlled device. Now, here's the terrifying part. Remember those plastic bags?
Yeah,
Well,
I do.
apparently multiple cult members refused to drink the poison on the night of the sacrifice, where they were then held down against their will and had plastic bags placed over their heads. This was
Oh my god, no. Rest in peace to their dear souls. That's so up. Oh my god. That's
not
so
a choice. Everyone
I hope that wasn't her outfit, bro. This is blasphemy. They're disrespecting the cross.
had to participate. The reason why these cult members
Big
took
ass
part in
forehead.
these rituals was because they believed that the end of the world was near, and by leaving Earth, their souls would ascend to another planet, inevitably escaping the apocalypse. Number 2, movement for the restoration of the 10 Commandments of God. Could they
What the hell? What is this long ass name?
not have thought of a shorter name? Now, this will probably be one of the most tragic endings to a cult that you will ever hear. But
Okay.
before I tell you how this all ends, let's first cover the cult's rise and beliefs. This
Okay.
was a religious movement that took place in Uganda from 1989 through the early 2000s. The group would claim to be a religious movement, garnering around 5,000 members at its peak. However, the
Damn.
rest of the world would categorize this group as a doomsday cult. The cult's beliefs were very simple. Members were strictly to follow the 10 Commandments. They thought that
Okay.
by doing so, they would escape the coming apocalypse. They actually feared breaking the commandments so much that a lot of the members outright refused to speak and would instead communicate using sign language. Adapting the
Was that edit? See, that's just doing too much.
classic winning strategy of
Did they just ignore why the 10 Commandments were omitted? I don't even know, bro. I don't know.
you can't lose if you don't play.
I heard they did 445 stuff. Oh. Yeah, bro. It was already blasphemy ever since they just took the
Which
cross
is a
and used it for
strategy
some
that I
dumb
have
shit.
been using for years, making my friends absolutely jealous. Since they say stuff to me like, "You literally don't even leave the house. You don't do anything anymore." And "What happened to you?" But don't worry, those are just words. It's so much better to know that you remain undefeated. The leaders of the cult would even claim to be able to directly talk to God and being told when the world would come to an end, placing the date on December 31st, 1999. As soon as this date was announced, the cult members
Oh, the day it goes into 2000. Okay.
erupted in a
I can actually kind of see them put it like hella people thought the world was about to end when it turned 2000.
frenzy, selling their livestock
Yeah,
and all of their
Y2K.
belongings for very cheap. The leaders would then instruct their members to give
What the
all
hell
of
is
the
that?
money to the movement, which they gladly did. But eventually, the date of doomsday arrived, and surprise, nothing happened, causing the leaders to push the date back to March 17th, 2000, with the followers
Okay, dude. So all of a sudden the rules was just changed. Nah, man. Nah, he was like, all right, well, listen, okay. The message was wrong. The date was wrong. We had to move it back a little bit. You know, we had to move it back. But now for sure it's happening in March. It's happening in March, trust. They delayed the end of the world like a Kanye album.
enraged and beginning to ask for their
God
money
delayed
back,
the
the
update?
leaders could not afford to be wrong this time around. So on March 17th, 2000, all 530 members were instructed to attend a party inside of a boarded up church.
Oh,
But just
GGs.
moments after the last person arrived, the party would quickly come to an end. With the only entrance to the church being shut, the building quickly erupted in flames. With no way out, all 530 members would be trapped
Good enough. Come on, bro. You can't be drawn. This is a fire we're talking about that took the lives of people, man. Nigga got Super Saiyan Goku in the corner. Oh my god. Yo, that's hilarious. Oh my god. I'm so glad I noticed that.
trapped inside and slowly burned alive. Police would later discover that 2 of the 5 cult leaders never attended the party. And just 4 days after the church fire, police would investigate all of the cult's properties, discovering an additional 395 bodies.
Oh my god. That's so messed up. Yo, you have no time. It's funny that we just did the morality test like before this. Where is your humanity at? Jeez.
The bodies of members that had been poisoned just
Nearly
days
400?
before the party, raising the total body count to over 900. The 2 cult leaders that are believed to have orchestrated these attacks managed to escape the country before being captured, and to this day, they remain free.
No, bro. That's the worst ending, man. That's the worst ending. Come on. How? That's so f***ed up. I don't even know what to say. They gotta put a bounty out for these 2.
Number 1, the People's Temple. This cult would become one of the most
Oh my god, I've heard of this. I've heard of this too. I'm gonna let it
talked
play.
about tragedies in all of American history. With countless of documentaries made on the subject and word of a new movie currently in the works, it really goes to
Jonestown?
show just how much of an impact this cult
I
has
think when I was like, bro, I forgot what it was. I think when I was in social studies, some high school class, my like teacher showed me a documentary of this. This dude is so messed up.
had on society. It would all begin in
Don't drink the
1954 in
Kool-Aid?
Indianapolis, Indiana, when a communist man named Jim Jones opened up his own church, attracting people by offering healing services, claiming to heal all sorts of diseases.
By the way, if there's any, have y'all seen the videos of like those healing, like the church healings? All that shit is fake as bro. That is like actually a number one. It's the most fake thing ever. Literally in the Bible and every religious book, it says specifically, you're a human, you can't do things like that. And it's sad because people believe them. Like they believe them. Like they go there, like bro, with some crazy sad thoughts. They think it's gonna cure them, and after that they realize it's a scam. And that's tough.
In the coming years, Jones would garner thousands of loyal followers.
The Bible self says you can't even do that. Exactly.
Secretly using religion to further his political ideology. After a while, Jones would begin to get criticized for his views, leading him to move to California in 1965. And by the early 1970s, he had established the temple's headquarters in San Francisco. Old members would be tasked with recruiting, leading to massive growth. And eventually, they would reach thousands of members.
Why my state?
Hey,
Yeah? What's up?
do you like Jesus?
What? Like our Lord and Savior Jesus?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess. He's cool.
cool. Want to
What's going on here?
like him with us?
Beat that eyes.
I'm okay, man. Thanks.
Why?
I'm okay, brother. Appreciate the offer, though.
Why?
Just keep it moving, man.
Why?
Brother, try someone else.
Why?
All right, man, you're ridiculous. Just give me the flyer.
They're gonna capture him. They're gonna capture him.
Why?
Okay, I can't do this. But the next step would come in 1974 when Jones would acquire close to 4,000 acres of remote land in Guyana in South America, a place he would call Jonestown, slowly sending over members as they would begin to build homes and inhabiting the land. He convinced his
We
followers
really got all those people to move to an entire other country. An entire other country. And this was really back then. I mean, I'm saying back then like it was a long time ago. Not really. But at the same time, it kind of was. With like technology and stuff like that.
to move by selling them
But
the
why
vision
though?
of
Why?
paradise, a place where they can live freely without the government getting involved. For Jones, creating a socialist society had always been his goal, and it was finally taking shape. By 1977,
Bro, stop
around
typing Y, stop
900
typing Y.
members lived on the compound, and this would also be the same year that Jones would permanently join them. But the moment he arrived, things quickly changed. Everyone was expected to work 8-hour days, followed by classes at night, where they would learn about socialism. Jones had
Aw,
effectively
hell
begun
nah.
to brainwash his followers, even taking on the name Father.
This is like what's his name? Hassan Abi's dream.
But everything would change on November 17th, 1978.
Tommy got no riz. You thought I wasn't gonna see the chat? Hold the time out, buddy. Hold the time out.
When a politician named Leo Ryan and his team arrived at Jonestown to investigate claims of abuse. After the investigation was complete, Ryan would be ambushed at the airstrip, where
Damn.
he and 3 others would be fatally gunned down. Jones, knowing that the end was near, had a few helpers prepare a giant tub of grape-flavored drink, adding to it a concoction of
Yo, the grape flavor makes it more racially motivated.
drugs
That makes it so much more racially motivated.
and cyanide. He would then instruct all of his followers to drink a
Lean.
cup. Not knowing what was in it, his followers blindly followed his instructions. And with that cup, they had all but sealed their fate. More than 900 people, including Jones, would end up dying
Damn.
shortly after.
Rest in peace.
This incident would
Not to
create
Jones though, and the other like the people that were taking advantage of. Rest in peace to that. Some other niggas, they're burning in hell right now.
the famous saying, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," meaning to not blindly follow a leader or ideology without questioning or
I've never heard that. Is that what people say? Don't drink the Kool-Aid?
critical thinking.
never heard people say
or
that.
you just might end up like the people at Jonestown.
Wow, man. Hey, man. Good video from Good Enough, man. Never misses on these. These are very interesting. I knew a couple of them, actually, but I didn't fully... Oh, my God. The Jonestown one is terrible. These are actually so terrible. Yeah, guys. Just in conclusion, don't join a cult. Don't join a cult. It's not a good thing to join a cult because they're going to manipulate you. They're going to manipulate you. And, yeah, that's really it. If you're watching this on the tube, join the Discord.